Hey folks, today I'm in the Dominican Republic to climb Pico Duarte, which is not only the highest peak in the country, but in the entire Caribbean. So for this peak, hikers are required to make the trek with certified guides. I arranged for a 2.5-day hike with the local guide company, Guías de Alturas. Getting to Jarabacoa was a bit of an adventure, as I was starting from the beach town of Punta Cana on the eastern tip of the island. I took an Uber from my hotel to the Expresso Bavaro bus station. I boarded a very nice double-decker bus which took me 3 hours to the capital city of Santo Domingo. From there, I took another Uber to the Carib Tours bus station, and that bus took me another 2.5 hours into Jarabacoa in the Dominican Alps. I was picked up by one of the guides and driven another hour to the trailhead. La Ciénaga Valley. Once we arrived, I was shown my tent for the night, protected from the elements. There was another option to get a room for the night, and that cost about $30 US. Although it felt like much of the adventure was just getting here. This is my 2.5-day trek of Pico Duarte, the highest point in the Caribbean and the tallest mountain in the Dominican Republic. Let's do it. After that, I had some time to kill, so I took a look around. Here's the breakfast area. It's pretty humid here right now. We have bathrooms, men and women's. Looks like I spotted an outlet down there. I wonder if it worked. I need to go charge up some stuff. This building is the National Park office building. And here's a trail map. Here are some of the rules for the park. It looks like this is the start, which we'll be doing tomorrow morning. I think I should mention real quick before I go to sleep here that we had a meeting with one of the park representatives, and he told us a little bit about the history of this park. Yeah, that was cool. And now I am going to bed, getting up at 5:30, then we're gonna hit the trail. This morning we had a warmed ham sandwich. There was some bananas, some maybe oranges, hot chocolate, coffee, and chocolate muffins. All pretty good. My bag has been taken to the mule, so we'll be ready to go in about 10 minutes, I think. Alright, let's get this show on the road. And we are off to Pico Duarte. Here comes the sun, and Jose is behind us. 2.1 kilometers. Wonky bridge. Some water. Whew. Have some ferns here. Lots of these palm trees. Got some fruit here. It's a little wet. Second bridge and fast order. It's a little wonky. There goes Jose and our animals, which both look like horses. A bit of water on the trail. It's been surprisingly dry though. Here's our first break. Los Tablones. Some seating here. Got some stairs here. They're pretty big. Takes a long leg. The trail has really started to ascend here. I don't know if it's because of when we left, but we appear to have the trail all to ourselves this morning, which is pretty nice. These mossy lined walls. They look pretty cool. Nice and soft, feels like velvet. Making our way up from the first stop. This is kind of typical trail. A beautiful ridge line in the background. We're definitely on a ridge line. It's dropping off on both sides now. Doesn't feel very airy because of all the vegetation. But all the breaks in the trees reveal some amazing scenery. The types of trees have definitely changed up here. We don't see a lot of palms anymore. It's more of these needled trees, evergreens of some sort. And they're all covered with moss. Looks pretty fascinating. Very few insects, no mosquitoes. Very few anything. It's been very pleasant. Temperature's wonderful. The ridge line is narrowed in places to just a couple feet. Having a great time. The park official was talking to us last night and he said there are no dangerous animals in the park. There are no venomous reptiles. The only animal that could be dangerous are wild pigs. But haven't seen any of those. In fact, I haven't seen much of anything except for a couple birds in the shadows. Couldn't identify them, even if I knew what they were. There's my first bird. I'll let you know what that is on the screen somewhere, hopefully. This stop was the only place where I had cell reception outside of Jarabacoa. Good to know there are toilets here, and it even has a toilet seat. That is pretty nice. The second stop is 4.65 miles into our trip today. Enjoying a banana and some water. Look at this place. Interesting how we go from these trenches to narrow ridge lines. I wonder if that's La Ciénaga down there. And the peak up here is called Pico Duarte. Once we pass Pico Duarte, I think we start going down towards our high camp. La Laguna. Looks like they used to pump water up here. At La Laguna, my climbing mate brought up the idea of maybe going to the summit tonight. You know, going straight to the summit and then descending tomorrow. I think that sounds like a fine idea. I was looking forward to the sunrise, but I bet you there are going to be less people there tonight. And that's probably preferable. Alright, we're at El Cruce del Teterk. I assume that's how you say that. And we're going to the right. here for my group. I don't know how far ahead I am. Good. Gracias. That must be the summit of Yaque. The higher we get, the better this view gets. What could that be? I wonder if that is Pico Duarte. It seems too close. Maybe Pico Duarte is further to the left. Yeah, I think the mountain to the left looks a little bit taller from here. Here is another rest area, it looks, where they have a helipad. Here we are at our next break spot, Agüita Fria. Over there we have what looks to be some campsites, or at least an area that's relatively flat. It looked like there was a tent over there, and something is fenced in. I'm not walking down that way. In this direction we have this, refuge, and there's toilets over there. So we're on the backside of Pico del Yaque, and this is pretty much all downhill. A lot of sun. Still, I don't know how I've been getting sun all day long, but that's fine. Don't mind too much. Still a beautiful day. Alright, at 9.6 miles, we are almost there. Comparticion. I don't think I'm gonna wait this time. Wow. It is beautiful. I wonder what that mountain is way out there. Looks pretty tall. I feel like I've actually come across quite a bit of wildlife on this trip, or on today's hike. Yeah, I also saw some parrots. I didn't get footage of that, but they were all in a tree over my head, and when I came around a corner, they whoosh, all flew away. I'm pretty sure we're looking at Pico Duarte now. I'm pretty sure. It looks pretty big compared to the surrounding mountains. This looks like another hummingbird. I don't know if you can make him out in there. Alright, here we are. Back from where we came. We have 2 tents set up. Bet you one of those is mine. With a fantastic view. This looks like an administrative building. Don't know what this is. Could be baños, bathrooms. La Comparticion. This is high camp for us. Don't know what these buildings are. Looks like there was once a telephone there. Here's your history lesson. This is what telephones used to look like, at least public ones. This building is big and empty. I wonder if you could sleep in here.
just to mention, I've been here for what, 10-15 minutes. We are at 7 hours and 50 minutes now since we left. We've gone 11.43 miles, and now I think we're going for the summit. Not sure what's on this taco, but it's the best damn taco I've ever had. Well, my friends, it appears we're off to summit tonight. Means super long day today, but not quite as long tomorrow. Skies look pretty clear. So we are on our way to the summit, and it took 2.5 hours to make this decision. It's about 4 o'clock now, and I kind of wish we had stopped for a bite to eat and then just kept going, like maybe after an hour. Now it's getting pretty late. It's a 5-hour round trip. Still excited to go. My main concern is that we waited and now clouds are going to come in and cover the summit. It's a totally different world up here. This is the trail. Whew. I wish we had left a little bit earlier. Clouds are moving in. Here we are at Val de Lilis. This is the point where the trail splits and goes to Pico Duarte and La Paloma, which is like its sister mountain, almost as high. It's the second highest mountain in the Caribbean. Another shelter, fire pit, some bathrooms there. Pico Duarte. Similar to the sign is down there. All right. I think that's the summit. Off to Pico Duarte. Oh, so close. So close. Summit of Pico Duarte, tallest mountain in the Caribbean. On top of Pico Duarte, earned my badge. Excelente.
Morning is upon us. Gonna eat some breakfast and then hit the trail.
Hope you along the way. Have a good walk.
Alright, here we go, leaving camp.
My breakfast this morning consisted of some root vegetables on the bottom, topped with mashed potatoes, some sausage, and a couple of pieces of chicken breast maybe. It was actually quite good. However, there was so much, can't eat it all. Yep, there's your breakfast report. Check in with you later. The sun is making its appearance now. No need for headlamps anymore. It's a beautiful day, another beautiful day. And it looks like Pico Duarte is just coming out of the cloud. Look at this beautifulness out here. So this national park was the first national park in the Dominican Republic, and they since have created other ones. And the primary reason for this is that this is where the headwaters for the major rivers that provide all of the fresh drinking water to the country start. So, you know, it's in their best interest to really preserve these areas and make sure that that water isn't spoiled. In fact, it is a national security issue for this country. I just thought that was kind of interesting, to create your national park system based on national security. Right now we've started the main descent towards base camp. We just passed Pico del Yaque, which is the highest point before you drop down into the valley before going up to Pico Duarte. So this is like the home stretch. 10, 11 more miles and we'll be done. Making pretty good time here. Remember sitting there yesterday. My legs are going to be toast tomorrow. I think this is my first view of the morning. Back towards La Ciénaga, where I am heading to. Excellent. The seating at Las Cruces is a little dilapidated, but we're coming down to the sign here. We're going to make a left to head back to base camp. I just did a little walk from Las Cruces to La Laguna with Alexandro, a young man from Santiago. Very nice, and he was rocking out to some American music, some Guns N' Roses. Yeah, that was nice. It's just super cool. Gonna take a quick break here at Alto de Cotora. Making great time. Been on the trail for 3 hours and 6 minutes or so, and covered 6.2 miles. Maybe it's a little higher than that. I didn't turn my watch on until a few minutes after we left, but things are going well. I am at Los Tablones, and I got here in just under 4 hours. Well, I didn't realize this, but apparently I wasn't allowed to separate from my group. I saw a sign that said something to that effect, so I guess I'll just wait here until my group gets here. After waiting about an hour and a half, my group finally showed up. We're on the move again. Well, I'm nearing the end of the trail here, and I thought I'd let you know what I think about this Duarte Peak hike. The food was decent that was served to me, so I was okay with that. The peak is very nice, obviously, or no one would do it. And the scenery is fantastic. I really enjoyed moving through this forest and then getting up high and seeing the surrounding mountains. So, yep, pretty nice overall. All right. And we crossed this bridge and we're back at base camp. As always, thanks for watching. I really appreciate the support. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys later.